Here I am, Andrew Gibbons, in conversation, it says on the slide, with Rebecca Norton. And we do this really well, I think. Today we're going to explore development for coaches. How do coaches get better at what they do? By what means and through what sources can we actually improve our practice? So I promised I wouldn't say much at the start, and that's as much as I'm going to kick us off. Rebecca, what do you want to say about yourself and to get us going?
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I'm Rebecca Norton from Sense of Direction, and I think this is a really interesting and important topic, actually. You know, as coaches, really we do need to be developing all the time, otherwise it's not really fair on our clients, is it? If we're not providing our best service and our best selves, you can't just qualify and then that's it forever.
Sure.
So, yeah, for me, one of the things that's been key in my development has been attending a couple of coaching groups. So I'm quite lucky where I am that I've got two local groups. I've got the Sheffield Coaching Exchange,
yep,
and I've got the Three Shires Coaching Forum.
Which three shires are they, just for interest?
Well, it's quite a broad three shires. So basically it is Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire.
Oh, right. Is that all the Yorkshires?
Yeah, we're not exclusive. We're not exclusive. We have sort of said all of Yorkshire, because we have people coming from quite a distance. So some people come from Leeds and places like that as well. So it is both of them are such great groups, because you get to meet like-minded people.
Yeah, sure.
Not everybody's coaches in there, or some people are at differing stages. So some people have a strong interest in personal development and maybe have some elements of that within their work role. Some people are studying and training to be coaches. Some people are just qualified, and we have several people who are very well experienced, being in business for many years, and are supervisors. So there's a real mix and broad range of experience in the groups. And for me, I find that's an excellent way of helping to develop myself. I see what's possible. I find out different ways of working and interacting with people, and I've just found it incredibly useful to my development. So I've been going to those for a number of years, actually. I don't think I started attending those groups while I was still in training.
Right.
So yeah, been really good.
So that is, I mean, speaking as we are in whatever month it is, July of 2020, in pandemic, we're in the online mode now, but those are conventionally physical groups of people physically attending a physical event together, aren't they?
They are, yeah. So normally we would be meeting once a month in real life, in person, at an actual venue. But for the last few months, we have been running them online. And to be fair, they've worked reasonably well. And I know certainly one of the groups, we are intending to continue running online meetings as well as in-person meetings. And
the reach is greater. That you get to reach out to and make contact with people online more easily than herding them to a place which might be 60 miles from where I live.
Exactly, yeah. So like I said, we do have quite a broad spread in the Three Shires. So for the people coming along to that, it's much easier to join online. Obviously, you miss some of that personal interaction.
You do.
But we've had a really good turnout at each of the meetings so far, and you get to go into breakout rooms, so you're not missing out on doing some of the practice.
Yeah, sure.
So that is part of those groups, is an element of, normally we'll have somebody do maybe a bit of a presentation or a mini workshop, but we will actually practice things as well, you know. So it's a really nice way of developing our skills and our knowledge base.
So let me push you on that a bit if I can. What specifically can you attribute, if you like, in terms of your practice, that you're doing better as a result of involvement in those groups?
Oh, good question. I think there's the opportunity to try out new models and tools and things that I've not come across before. So I've certainly picked up one or two different ideas of that. Something that we just looked at this week, actually, with the Three Shires, was a range of tools, and one of them was the McKinsey S7, I think it is.
That's right, all the S's, yeah.
All the S's, yeah, and I've not seen that one before. So that was
I struggle to remember 6 or 7 sometimes.
Yeah, so I think it is 7 S's, isn't it?
It is.
And that's not something that I've seen before. So for me, that was a really useful introduction to that. And there was another one that I've not seen before as well. So the opportunity to practice that out. And also just being able to talk to other coaches to see what's possible. I think when you're starting out, it's quite daunting working for yourself. So being able to chat to other coaches and find out and actually have that practice. And working, we will normally do triads a couple of times a year as well, where we'll have a coach, a coachee and an observer, and we all rotate around those roles. And that's a really good way of developing your skills. I think sometimes the observation role is really, really important, and actually watching somebody else do it and observing how it works is really important.
Well, I'm not in such a group, and that's largely because I just don't make the efforts to do so, and I should. But we met through such a group when I did something for the Sheffield Coaching Exchange, and so I know, and we can see through this very conversation, the value of such things in forming associations and connections with people. And I think that's partly what it's about, isn't it? It's not just the attendance at, it's the resultant connections with people as well. And that can last and be sustained for many years.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I took on, I was asked to join a coaching project through the 3 Shires earlier this year, actually. So there was a team of us from the 3 Shires, and I only got that work and that project because I had been a member for a number of years, and I've built up that relationship with the people in that group. So it is incredibly important to work with other coaches and to develop those relationships. Yeah.
Well, I think ethically we don't join these things in order for it to be a sales opportunity. We just don't, because we do things properly. That said, if more people get exposure to how amazingly skilled we are, then it's no surprise that people make approaches to us ultimately in over a period of time that becomes to our commercial advantage. But that might not happen, and that isn't why we do it.
No, definitely not. I think, like I said, just improving our practice, it keeps us on our toes. It's really, helping us to be the best for our clients, and that's what's really important to me. I want to be the best coach that I can be, and learning new ways of being able to do that. And also, we have things that come up in our own lives, and being able to tackle that is really important as well. It's so easy to say one thing and do another. So we have to be conscious of practicing what we preach. If we're encouraging people to go and get personal development themselves, then we need to be doing it as coaches as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's too easy to become isolated and to not seek the value that comes from working with peers. And let me lead you into another area of development for coaches then. You mentioned there that there's a value in the interactivity and the check, if you like, on practice, and supervision in whatever form provides such a natural forum really for development. It might not be overtly there as a developmental activity, but it very much is in terms of the opportunity to reflect on your practice and to explore in a safe environment with someone. So I think supervision is well worthy of mention on our list of sources of development for coaches.
Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily convinced about supervision at first, because I thought, well, I'm not in a clinical setting, I'm not doing, this full time, and it seems quite an expensive thing to be investing in.
Can be. Yeah.
But then I experienced it. I actually got the opportunity to experience it through 3 Shires as a group supervision, and just working with a coach supervisor was such an enlightening experience. It was. They operate on a different level almost.
Yes.
Being able to see, and as a coach, being questioned in that way was so helpful. And you're right, just having that opportunity to reflect on your own practice in a safe environment. It is very difficult, I think, sometimes for a coach to admit if they are struggling with things, because everybody thinks that they should know the answers. So seeking out
including
supervision.
Themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So seeking out supervision is really helpful. Definitely recommend it to any coach, actually, whether that's, I've experienced group supervision and individual supervision, and both are very valuable.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I too have had that experience. And when you get a competent supervisor, because let's put that qualification on it, because supervision, like any other skill, if you like, has variable standards of practice. But when you get a good supervisor, you do get that focus, that unusual, authentic, a word I use quite a bit, interest in you. And that's unusual. I had a conversation for 20 minutes with my neighbour yesterday. It's all about him. And I came back after it and I thought, typical human, Dave, didn't ask about me once. It was all about him. And when you get a supervisor, it's the opposite. It's all about you. And that's a very intense and worthwhile experience.